This is Alex.
Ah!
Welcome back to the Prude podcast, live from the upper floor of my house.
I'm in Penny's house and I'm touching all this stuff.
Yeah, you keep fucking stealing all my schlobles and you're gonna sell them for some coppers. And I'm not gonna have anything fucking left of my name. So your laptop broke for some reason. What's the story there again?
No, it's I spilled Coke on it a while ago, and when you touch the power button, it'll shut off for an unknown amount of time, and then it'll start working perfectly again.
So, why did you touch the power button?
It was an accident.
Like you fucking like.
I even have a sticky note,
it?
a piece of a sticky note on the button that says "Do not touch," and I accidentally touched it because the one of the buttons that I don't remember which one, but one of the buttons that I have to use for stuff is next to it.
Oh, okay. I don't remember Mac keyboards. I don't know what would be next to it, but okay. Sucks.
Yeah,
Also,
I can't think of it right now.
Yaman is also not in season right now. He's hidden back in his wilderness cave. He's hibernating. So who knows when he'll be back out again, but we'll try and get him next time.
I know.
Well, we had Yaman.
We were going to record today, but then I remembered that my fucking laptop was broken.
Yeah, so then Yaman left the studio that he had went through all this effort to set up, and it just did not work out until Patrick showed up at my door with 40 chicken McNuggets and a McFlurry for me.
And then we watched Jeff Goldblum on Hot Ones.
Which,
that guy's a fucking psycho.
Do you think he's genuinely hurt someone?
I don't know if he's hurt someone, but he's definitely like fucking weird.
Because
people think it's funny, and I also think it's funny, but it's also kind of disturbing, like just seeing how rambly and weird he is.
Exactly. I think everyone holds him up as this virtuous, wholesome being,
but he's
and I want to believe in that. But someone that weird definitely has to have a few skeletons in the closet.
Issues, yeah.
Like he's definitely. I am surprised that nothing has come out about him yet. That someone hasn't like come in and ruined the parade or the charade or whatever, and be like, actually, 30 years ago, Jeff Goldblum once made me like diddle his hair or something. Like that's his
diddle his hair.
Yeah. He really enjoys it when people, especially like people that work for him in a lower position of power, touch his hair and massage his scalp or something. This is all slanderous. I like Jeff Goldblum, so I'm not gonna.
I like him too.
I'm gonna put some respect on his name.
He's weird.
He is weird, but don't we need more weird people in the world? Don't you think people?
I would say no,
boring?
Because we've got me and Jeff Goldblum.
That's it. Just overflowing. Otherwise, I mean, I think he's especially weird against someone who's as like cardboard boring as
like
Sean Evans. Yeah.
The interviewer for Hot Ones is named Sean, and he's a very strange person.
I've always had an issue with the way he speaks and the way he
does.
Like,
he sounds
himself.
like he doesn't care.
Yeah,
and he's putting in like this impression of someone who does care, but it doesn't work, and it sort of makes him sound like he doesn't give a shit about anything.
He has like this weird syllabic pattern to the way he speaks.
He uses slang, but in the whitest way in the world. Because it's like, you're on the gram, using the hashtags, doing the thing.
He's like, secure the bag, and I was just like, stop right there.
And I almost didn't understand what he meant, because the way he said it sounded like, what bag? Like, not like the usual expression, which I would understand if someone said, yeah, secure the bag, as a joke. Yeah. But I didn't understand because he said it so weirdly.
Exactly. And he always does this weird thing where he refers to his guests by their first or like whole name throughout the entire interview. So he was like, okay, Jeff Goldblum, on to sauce number 5. Laptop, please. Okay, Jeff Goldblum, explain this Instagram for us.
And there's times when he actually talks like a normal human being, but he doesn't keep it up. He has to do these scripted things.
And some of their like vlogs and stuff behind the scenes where they like try food like around New York City and stuff, and he like lets his guard down. Like he's actually like speaking normally, but then he just sounds even more like a dude bro, and like his truer colors come out. I remember he did a video with Rachel Ray, and she was like showing him how to cook this basic pasta dish, and he was like, okay, Sean, so like what's your favorite thing to like cook in the kitchen? He's like, I don't really cook anything. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, I don't really cook that much. I just order from Seamless a lot.
Wow.
She's like, okay, you host one of the most, popular food related TV shows or web shows on the internet, and you don't cook anything. So that's fine.
Keep messing with your dad's name tag.
Here's how you make bacon carbonara. Stop fucking touching my stuff. It's not my stuff. It's my dad's.
This thing.
Stop. That's a fucking government ID. The FBI will come shoot your ass.
There's no ID in it. It's just the thing. It says insert card from top.
Oh, I guess it's empty. Okay, well, I guess that one's like fair game. Don't take it though. You could strangle yourself with it.
It's like a piano wire.
Yeah.
From John Wick.
Imagine like.
Did you see the fucking John Wick thing? He's on a horse.
John Wick riding a horse shooting a guy with a motorcycle.
That's the production picture that they took, which is amazing. It's John Wick riding a horse with a gun aimed at a guy on a motorcycle.
I don't know why such a simple picture has me so excited for
It's
a movie.
It's the fun. Someone tweeted in reply to the person who originally posted the picture, labeling John Wick as me, and the horse is the horse I rode in on, and the guy on the horse is some asshole that said "fuck you" the horse you rode in on.
That's like it's fucking dumb literal shit.
It's so funny.
I fuck with that. You've seen the last two John Wick movies, right?
Yeah, I've seen both of them.
They're fucking
many times.
amazing. Like my favorite scene is in John Wick 2 when him and Common are like shooting each other back and forth like with silencers. Which
I never liked that scene. It's so weird.
I think it's
I would
hilarious.
notice if someone was shooting a silence.
Yeah, it's
gun.
not realistic at all because silence guns aren't very like quiet actually.
Not even that. Like even if they were really quiet, I would notice like this stuff coming out of his like poof, and then also him clicking it, and it's like he looks injured as shit, and he's covered in like debris and blood.
Yeah, not enough people stop John Wick to ask him how he's doing.
Are you okay?
Like, whoa, man.
Why do you look like you just like got hit by a fucking window that was shattered?
Like John Wick just like stumbles through the city all the time, and like people just like kind of ignore him. It's like, oh, this is some fucking homeless guy, I guess. It's just covered in blood, business as usual. But no, I would just be like, hey, man, are you good? Do you need like, do you need to sit down from just take it easy for a second? Like,
the hacker who stole Jennifer Lawrence's nude photos was sentenced to prison.
I saw that. I saw some fucking gross comment.
Good fucking job, America.
I saw some gross comment saying that guy was like a fucking martyr, and I'm like, really? Like,
it's just I'm glad that it sets a precedence for the idea of revenge porn, like that being hugely illegal. I like that a lot.
Exactly. Like people seem to remove any like humanity from celebrities they follow. And they're like, oh, they're like public figures, therefore, like the public like should own and
shouldn't
be able to
they have
see them
expected this to happen at this point? It's like, no, they shouldn't because they're people.
Everyone has like a fucking expectation to privacy, you idiot.
I even think that Jennifer Lawrence is kind of annoying, but she's also a person. So even if you don't like someone and you think, oh, they're a celebrity, blah, 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 don't you care a little bit that they, have these atrocities done to their lives? That's like that could ruin someone's life if you do that. Because we live in a society.
We live in a
where for some reason we care if we can see someone's tit. It's just like if we didn't live in a society like that, I would prefer it much more, but we don't yet. So
isn't that like kind of weird that you can like show off like every angle of the boob possible
of someone,
but if like you can't see their nipple, it like doesn't count.
It's so fucking stupid.
Like it's
people should be able to walk around with nothing on.
Like it's fucking like weird. Like if you like photo compiled like just like the different dresses people wore, you could like digitally recreate like an entire boob, but because there's like no nipple, it's like not really like all like fully pornographic
like
or whatever.
Will wear those like on Mardi Gras or something like that. They'll wear those little like nipple covering things with tassels on them.
Yeah, and
then people would be like, yeah, I mean it's illegal because you're just not showing a nipple. It's like, why do you fucking care about that like 2-inch tiny little piece of skin? That's what matters, really?
I need to see where the milk comes from.
That 9-year-old kid can see like 85% of that person, but if he ever saw, the nipple, then he might have a heart attack and die.
You know what the fucking weird thing about this case that I saw mentioned in the Philip DeFranco show that people aren't talking about is that along with him like hacking into like celebrities like iClouds and like other photo storage things, he hacked into those of a bunch of people in Connecticut, which like just the state of Connecticut, like regular people. And something makes me think that this guy was definitely trying to like get the shit of some girl he must have had like a weird fetishy crush on in high school whenever he fucking went to high school or like middle school in Connecticut. I was like, that's like the creepier like aspect to this whole thing.
Yeah, some normal person.
Yeah, completely normal. Just fucking pretend to be an Apple Care like technician, so they give you their email and password, and that way you can fucking steal all their shit from their iCloud for their fucking potentially naked photos. Completely sane, normal, rational human being thing to do. I don't know why this man needs to be locked behind bars for like years at a time. He doesn't seem like a threat to society whatsoever. Fuck that guy. God, he's the skeeviest like looking motherfucker in the world. Oh my god, I just dropped water all over the fucking desk. Don't mind me.
I keep responding to people on Tinder by saying sup bitch.
How does that go for you?
It's like 50-50. People will be like haha, or people will be like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like, people are so sensitive.
I think like insulting people
it's
right
different
off the bat
for
is
like if you call a dude a bitch, you can mean it in a way that's like offensive or funny. But if you call a woman a bitch, it's definitely not going to go well.
No,
people
not
do not like fuck with that at all.
No.
You better be like there was a tweet that was like a gay person calling me a bitch, me like, yeah, you're a bitch too. And then some straight white guy saying you're a bitch is like, no. There's a big difference.
I saw another tweet that was like, okay, I think I've got this down. Girls who call each other bitches, definitely friends. Girl who call each other sweetie, definitely not friends.
Yeah. Sweetie is like one of the most annoying things that I get called.
Yeah. That's something you only get called like when someone is trying to like talk
It's like
down
on Twitter
to you.
when someone says
yeah.
like, actually, sweetie.
Like when you like have said something potentially problematic that's probably
if you say that to
actually.
someone, sweetie, in that negative, like annoying, stupid asshole way, I hope like a bus falls on your house. Like you're the most annoying kind of person that ever existed.
That's why no one, and I think people need to realize this more, like when you're trying to teach someone about, particular language
Don't be
or
a cunt.
attitudes. Yeah, like explaining to someone from, somewhere that's not super woke why they should refer to a trans person by their pronouns, for example, or use their preferred name. Like, be nice. Don't be like, actually, sweetie.
You dumb cunt.
Yeah.
You stupid idiot. People will not respond well to that, shockingly. They will probably also not do the thing that you're telling them to do.
Yeah, they just like fucking like shut down and like see you as like this asshole that's like coming at them for like a genuine mistake they made. So everyone should just fucking take a chill pill and try to learn. But that also, you do hear that argument a lot where it's not up to other people to teach people how to behave and stuff. But at the same time,
but when you are doing that thing where you're teaching someone, how about you choose to use different language to communicate what you're trying to communicate? Because if you're an asshole to someone while you're telling them how to do something, like if a teacher is like particularly cuntish towards you, you're not going to absorb what they're telling you. You're just going to focus on the fact that they're like being annoying as shit. And also, if you absorb what they say, you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to do the opposite then because you're a cunt.
It's like, imagine if your like 6th grade like math teacher was like,
all right,
okay,
fuckers.
class, can anyone tell me what 4 over 8 is? And someone's like, 2/4?
No, you
actually,
idiot!
sweetie, it's 1/2.
What a fucking fool you are. Like that Key and Peele sketch where the guy, like, he's like, yeah, I didn't actually like the Dark Knight movie. And then
I love that.
the guy was like, okay. And then he just repeats that over and over until finally he's like holding him by the neck. He's like, why do you keep doing that? You have to have an opinion about something. You have to express an opinion. And he's like, I don't actually have any opinions. I'm just a cunt.
I fucking love that skit. That's one of my fucking favorites.
Okay.
Awkward.
Anyway.
Dude, I miss Key and Peele. I'm so sad that they're like not a thing anymore.
Well, I mean, both of them are still making stuff. Like,
Jordan Peele is like a very successful like Hollywood producer and director now, and Keegan-Michael Key is gonna be in the new Predator
the shit
movie.
Out of both of them because the name of the show is their names, and I
Yeah.
could never remember which one was Key and Peele.
Yeah, which one goes first?
And people were like, this one guy, I can't remember his name, in high school, he was like, that makes you fucking racist. And I'm like, it's not that I can see 2 black guys and I don't. They're the 2 most different looking people in the world. He's like one tall, skinny guy and one like more round dude. And it's like you can easily tell the difference between them. But I was confused because of the names, and he was like, "You're a racist for that." I'm like, "No, that's not what."
Actually, sweetie.
Actually.
Okay.
You know what's weird? I say 20, like TWUNNY instead of 20. 20.
Make sure you don't fucking have that on your like cover letter or something. Like,
I've tried to do this like 3 times, but I always forget. Like a list of words that are pronounced so completely differently than they're spelled. 20 and 20. Nobody says 20.
I have that for gotta, or like.
Yeah, I gotta.
Like I gotta go do this thing.
GODDA.
Like every time like I'm writing like a quote or something, and someone clearly says gotta, I'm like, should I write this as gotta or got
Exactly,
to?
yeah.
Like, one is more English and grammatically correct.
Because he
the
didn't
other
say
one
got
is close.
to.
Yeah.
He said gotta.
The other is like more like closer to what he actually said. So it's like very difficult. I don't know. I probably should have asked someone about that at some point. I just kind of went with it. But anyways.
It's weird because also you'll like something like that for like 20, and then you'll write down 20 and it'll be like, that's not really what I said though. It's like, I don't know.
I don't say 20 though. Like I'm
You say
like
20?
I don't have a slang to it. I just say 20 like a normal person.
I say 20. I don't pronounce the T. I'm like a psychopath.
I mean, I think the T just kind of rolls off so naturally that you don't
It doesn't
hear it.
really though. It feels like you're chewing on a word, like 20.
20. I mean, I don't know, 20. No, I just
20.
said it.
20.
See?
It's almost like there's like a soft little D at the end, like 20. 20. 20.
20.
This is such a stupid conversation.
I'm so sorry. This is what happens.
Let's talk more about
not
Jeff
here.
Goldblum, how he's fucking insane.
He's a great man.
I mentioned this downstairs, but he could like, if you sat Goldblum on an island where there was nothing but sand, he would eat sand and then have a conversation with no one about how great the sand is.
It's like, the sand is flowing between my fingers. I love the sand.
It
It's
has
so
like
delicious.
qualities that I'm not sure I, like a flower would, bloom as the earth, rotates, and then my beautiful wife, who's, but.
That was pretty good. You should
Thank
pat
you.
yourself on the back for that. He's fun. Okay.
Secure the bat. I like that. That's very
Secure the
good.
bag. I've never heard that before.
That's how the kids,
What did he call Kendrick Lamar? Kendrick Lamar.
Ken Dirt Lamar. Ken Dirt Lamar.
Sean Evans is
What
like,
a fucking idiot.
how do you feel about rappers like Childish Gambino and Kendrick Lamar dropping your name
I
in their
like
songs?
Childish Gambino, and I like Ken Dirt Lamar.
God. Honestly, if I would live my best life if Jeff Goldblum ever just mispronounced my name.
If he just touched you once and
Yeah.
be like, oh, I see how you see things, and then you start acting like Jeff Goldblum. He's
Yeah.
like an infection.
I start wearing like 20 rings on my hands.
Dude, he
I
has
like
so
10
many
pounds.
fucking... How does he even lift his hands for the metal on his hands? It's just like the most densely... It's a lot of rings.
What's
It's
that
Johnny
like?
Depp.
That training theory of over exaggeration. Like there was this my old math teacher who was also the basketball coach used to tell this story about this kid who like grew up poor on a farm, but he loved basketball. So to get better, he would dribble the ball with weights around his wrists while wearing like rubber gloves. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And so he would do that for hours a day until like his wrists were bleeding or something.
Jesus.
And then when he finally got to play a real game and he could play without the gloves and without the weights, he was like the best dribbler in the game. And then my coach was like, you know who that kid is today? Kobe Bryant. And I'm like, what the fuck?
And
I don't think
his
this is
name,
real.
Albert Einstein. /that happened is amazing.
I don't think it was Kobe Bryant. I think it was like a different NBA player, but I don't really remember. I think it was like a white kid or something who was.
Those stories that people tell that are so completely unbelievable
Yeah.
are so entertaining. I think we talked about this before, which is basically something that this is the catchphrase for any goddamn podcast. It's just I think we've talked about this before, but like the stories that people will tell on the internet. The people that are so completely antisocial and weird that they don't do anything with anyone. So the stories they tell are so completely unbelievable because they have no reference to draw from. So they've never talked to anyone. So they don't know what it's like. So they imagine it's like, yeah, so then I stood up in front of everyone and I was like, fuck you. And then the teacher made me the teacher. And then I taught math. And then Mr. President, he came to the school and he awarded me with Albert Einstein's Nobel Prize because I'm smarter than Einstein. And then they will post that because they think that's believable. What a fucking stupid mind you have to have.
My favorite is the fucking like these shitty ass Facebook videos that are like animated and all cutesy, and it's like, here's this story of this like anonymous person. This person was like broke and homeless until they were like 35, and then they like wrote the first chapter of their book on like a napkin, and their friend saw it, and their friend gave it to like a publisher, and the publisher loved it, and then eventually they wrote a hit book called Harry Potter, and that author was J.K. Rowling.
That woman, J.K. Rowling. That man, Albert Einstein.
My favorite is Colonel Sanders from KFC, who's like, here's this man from like the South who made fried chicken for everyone, but he was so dirt poor, and all he did was spend his money on chicken so he could feed people in his community. Mustache. And then he started his own restaurant at like 75 that became a national sensation, and he died a millionaire. The end. I was like, wow, congratulations, Colonel. You went through 3/4 of your life with nothing, and then he became the chicken
at the
king.
End of your life. Everyone talks about peaking too early.
He peaked a little late.
They give examples like Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez and stuff, and they go like, "Oh, they peaked too early. Now the rest of our lives will be, disappointing." And I'm like, I'm not sure that's true. No. They're probably going to be pretty set up for the rest of their lives because of that peak in the early years of them.
So that's what
it's
fucking
so stupid to think that
early is. I would love to have peaked already.
I hope I peak early.
Yeah, like.
The thing is, peak right now.
If that peak is fucking high enough, you can glide the rest of your life, basically.
I guess the expression is like you peak early and then it's like downward from there. Yeah. But it's more like a plateau.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
keep going, or you maintain or keep going up. It's like for Justin Bieber, things aren't going to get worse for him.
Once you get to a certain point of wealth and fame, you can pretty much maintain that by doing nothing. Because rich people have the amazing ability of turning their money into more money through the power of investments and money managers and shit. So they'll like never be broke probably, unless you're Drake Bell and do spend a ton of your fucking money.
I'm sorry to Drake Bell, but you're a fucking psycho. Every one of your albums is just you shirtless.
Drake
and
Bell?
Also you have the weirdest shaped head in the universe.
Wait, let me see. I remember the last
show up to some fucking girls Make-A-Wish thing.
I don't know. Last I heard is he had to play it like, you know how your school would have like random magicians or like scientists come talk to you in the gym to like give you a like performance or something? Did you guys ever have that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, like Drake Bell has to do like those kinds of shows now.
Actually, we had
to pay off his
this
like
is
debt.
A complete derailment of your story. I'll tell it after you tell this.
No, I'm done. He's just playing school shows now to pay off some debt.
Oh shit!
Wait. He has a song that just came out in 2018 called Gucci Gang.
What a fucking
Is it a cover of Gucci Gang? Hang on.
His hairline is receding, so it makes it look like his head is 30 times bigger than it is. He also has the body of someone who's like done ab exercises in a locked room for 30 years.
Hang on.
You can't play that. It's copyright. We have to bleep that out, you idiot.
It's a cover of Gucci Gang. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny.
Why is it that it hurts so bad to hear some people say pussy? It's the fucking grossest, weirdest noise I've ever heard. But there was like, I can't remember when it was, which school I was at, but I was young and we were having an assembly for this
assembly. That's
like a seminar on a suicide thing. And this guy up front, I used to have it worse, but I have a habit of laughing during anything, especially when something is particularly serious.
Yeah.
My parents got used to it because I would be like, I'm not trying to laugh, I swear. I'm just doing this out of like a habit. I can't stop. And they're like, okay. And they understood. But it was hard for my parents and me to explain that to like teachers and students. And it would be anything that would make me laugh. And like this guy was talking about, my son hung himself with a coat hanger. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And then this kid behind me, he poked me in the ribs and he was a friend of mine. And I immediately started laughing as hard as I could. It was the loudest like, ha ha ha, ha 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 in the world. And like, it was just after the guy had said, and that was the last conversation I had with my son. And then I started laughing so fucking hard. It was like echoing off the walls. It was so loud. And I had to be led out of that room by a security guard. I was like in the office for like 35 days. It felt like I was so fucking in trouble. Oh my god.
Dude, what the
I swear I was like, I can't stress this enough how not funny I thought the presentation was. I was just laughing because it's laughter. I do that all the time now where I make myself laugh of some stupid thought I have.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, it was bad.
Dude, I would have fucking loved to be a fly on the wall. In that
it was completely silent before that. It was so quiet, and it was just ha 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 ha.
God damn. The only thing, I like passed the fuck out in like school mass one time. Like just like dropped dead, like unconscious, and like awoke like 30 seconds later. And like I couldn't. The problem was, this is like a big like Catholic school problem where we had to wear our winter uniform, which is just like lots of sweaters and layers and shit, and like a fucking tie.
So you're
and
comfy.
Yeah, and it was like transitioning into spring, so it was stupid hot out, but we were still wearing our sweaters. And not only that, we went into mass, which was stuffy as fuck, and then the priest was throwing around his incense like all over the fucking place, so I could barely fucking breathe.
You're being suffocated.
So I'm like, I can't breathe because my tie is too tight, and I'm so fucking hot. And there's like myrrh and like frankincense in the air, and I can't breathe through that. So I was just like, my 10-year-old self was at the fucking kneeler, like on the pew with the rest of my classmates, and I just like dropped the fuck over. I don't even remember falling over. I just remember like my face on the cold. Dude, I can hear my fucking dogs. I guess my parents are home. I can fucking hear I can hear them through your microphone. So I should let my dad know in case he like tries to walk in.
I'm just gonna stare at him if he comes in.
Yeah. But anyways, I remember my fucking face on the cold like tile fucking floor of the church, and two kids had to fucking carry me with my arms like slung across their shoulders up the hill back to the school, and like just drop me in the nurse's office. And she was like, "So what happened?" And I was like, "I don't know. I can only see in black and white. I'm so scared." And she's like, "You'll be all right, kid. Don't worry about it."
There was this kid at one of my schools when I was younger, when I was probably the same age as I was when I'd laugh during a suicide fucking thing. But there was one kid one year when it was like it gets fucking cold in Virginia sometimes during the winter, like really cold, like negative like 13 randomly. And he was outside, and he was wearing a jacket that looked a lot like the tree, like the same sort of like color. Yeah. And so I guess they forgot him when we went inside. We went outside to do some like, I think it was like a you put a box in the ground and you open it in a year or something like that. Whatever that
time capsule
word is, I can't remember. But he was laid up against a tree, and he was basically invisible to everyone. And we went inside except for him. And I came outside because I saw him after lunch, and he was still in the same spot. And I walked over to him, and his nose and lips and fingers were purple, and he was breathing really weirdly. And so we brought him inside, and one of like his fingers couldn't move at all. It was so frozen solid. And one of the teachers was actually brought up on charges of like negligence because he was so frozen. And the parent came in and was like, "How completely stupid of you, blah 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 blah." And I was sitting there drinking a juice box, and for some reason it's funny to me now, but I was thinking about Barney the dinosaur and how he's purple and so is this kid, and I was like, I wonder if he's going to turn into Barney the dinosaur. I'm such an idiot asshole. But yeah, that kid almost died because the teacher was stupid.
I can imagine you being like a really shitty bully and just like talking to this dead kid who's completely purple. It's like, "What's up, Barney?" It's like,
"What's up, idiot? Why are you cold? Try not being cold. How about that?"
God fucking damn.
Did you text your dad so he's not going to break the door down and kill me?
Yeah, you're good. He said, "No problem. I also bought you cookies and cream ice cream." And I was like, "God damn, not only are we taking up your space, you bought me ice cream."
And I bought you ice cream too. I got you a fucking McFlurry, you fat fuck.
I know you did, yeah. But I didn't know my dad was going to buy me ice cream.
Spoiled bitch.
I'm really fucking spoiled. It's been a wild few hours. I'm stuffed with McNuggets and fries. I like how I told you I wasn't going to finish the whole large fries so you could have some, and I just like accidentally like ate all of them.
No one ever not does like. There's never any leftover McDonald's. It's always fucking killed.
Yeah, and I make sure to like I made sure to pour the fry bags or the fries in the bag out initially so I'd eat those too. So I'm really fucking like have a sack of potatoes in my fucking stomach. Mm-hmm. You saw the Cyberpunk gameplay, right?
That it looks so fucking good. I cannot goddamn wait for that game.
That game obviously gives me like serious Blade Runner vibes because they're both like cyberpunk aesthetics and stuff.
Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell, Akira.
Yeah, but it's like Blade Runner if the sun ever came out and if it was ever like not raining.
Fun.
Yeah. And like
people had some joy in their lives.
Yeah.
It's like GTA but Blade Runner.
Like it's cyberpunk, but people can still like have some level of fun even though things are totally fucked up.
Some dude came into her apartment and took her cheeks.
Yeah. I remember when you were watching it was like, this looks amazing, and then you're like, she's straight, that's boring.
Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of bigoted.
I mean, that's fair. Like, it's
I was waiting for
future.
her to be in a bed with like a robot.
I'm sure that's a thing. I'm sure that's a thing you'll be able to do. But then again, like with the amount of like cybernetics people have inside of them, how like human are people really?
You don't even know. Like, I don't even know. Like, I was waiting for there to be like a genderless character because it's 2077. I hope there are characters that are like LGBTQ.
Well, you
saw
at
that
that
point,
point
it's going to be everywhere. That, like, people are open about that.
You saw some like people on the street and stuff. That were
yeah,
like,
there was dudes with booty shorts.
Yeah, there you go.
And I was like, cool.
Patrick, do you own booty shorts?
I do not, but I've tried them on before when I was like, I was having a lot of fun. And
you're passing around the fun.
Apartment in DC, and I was like looking at this dude, and he was like sort of skinny, and I was like, "Do you have any more of those shorts?" And he was like, "Yes, of course. Why would I not own more than one pair?" And I was just like, "That's fair." And then he went and got one, and then I literally disrobed and put it on in front of everyone, and like behind the kitchen island. I was like crouched down, and I put it on, and I walked out, and everyone was like, "Yes, oh my god!" And it was like really, I was good for my.
I can imagine you disrobing and just like having your fucking like dick out in front of everyone and not caring.
I didn't have my dick out. I kind of had my dick out.
Your dick was out, but like it was obscured by the kitchen island.
It was hidden.
For a brief moment it was. But yes, the game looks great. My favorite part was when out of fucking nowhere she gets fucking blades coming out of her arm that she looks like a fucking mantis.
Katana, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, and she can fucking like climb walls with it and then stab people. And I was like, Jesus, how does that even fit in there?
And you fly car fucking jet things.
Yeah. Well, you can't fly a car. They didn't show flying a car. They showed you driving a regular car for some reason.
I'm pretty sure I remember them flying a car.
I don't remember. What's with every like future car looking like the DeLorean? You notice that?
It. I don't care. DeLorean's a cool looking car.
I mean, that's like the default aesthetic. But I'm like, give me like.
There was also an SUV. I remember seeing.
Yeah, there was
like the government
the
drug deal thing.
The corporate thing.
Corpos or whatever the fuck they name them people, which was like pretty on the nose. It's just like corporate government people.
Yeah. Corporate and government are two totally different things, but like,
yeah, well, it's sort of like high and mighty people is the word.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested in this universe because of that, because I'm sure it'll be like a unfettered capitalism is bad kind of thing, and here's how like people are fucking destroying themselves. Like the first interesting thing about that they showed was that like body you were like retrieving or something. She was like, oh, this person has like the platinum like health insurance plan, so like they can have their private fucking like medical ambulance army come pick them up, and then you
fucking medical army that showed up. They were in a flying car and they got out and they were like, they had fucking SMGs and they were aiming at you and they're like, get the fuck away from the patient.
Yeah, and they like kept yelling at you.
Led the fucking patient away into the ambulance flying car and they left. And it makes so much sense that they have guns.
Yeah. And I was like, Jesus, okay.
Can you imagine a nurse with a fucking M9?
It wasn't even an M9. It was like a P90, but it was like a future
I just
P90.
named a gun. I was just like, what the fuck?
I love that shit. But
they were like P90s, I think. That's that shirt that you can get with all the like the kanjis on them.
Yeah.
The P90, like the vaporwave aesthetic sort of thing.
Every like future gun looks like a P90 for some reason.
Well, yeah.
Which
and
is
also
just like
in,
really long.
With Westworld, they all had P90s.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
When I noticed that and I was like, oh, so this one person has a P90. That's interesting. And then all of them had P90s. And then like Dolores is throwing P90s to like the Confederate soldiers. Was like, here's what the weapons they're gonna use.
The South will rise again.
Gift. And I'm like, how is he gonna know what the fuck to do with it?
So like,
how do you reload and clean this?
So like, just so people know, like we are not gun nuts at all. But I just know
I
this
have
gun
35 guns. I don't have any guns.
I just have the one.
Have 2 airsoft
I just have one P90. But no, thanks to a long and storied tradition of Call of Duty in my youth, I know all about the P90. So even if you don't know what a P90 is, if you look this gun up, just Google P90, not P90X. you'll
P90
instantly
is very short
recognize it.
barrel and a long stock that's like
Stock makes up the entire body of the gun, basically.
It's like you hold it in the front.
Yeah, and it's got like, it's like very like rectangular. It's weird. It's like got a very
like a rectangle
odd design.
with a front part that has a gun handle.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you see a picture of this gun, it's the FNP90. You'll probably recognize it if you've seen Westworld.
This makes it sound
or
like
if you've
we're
seen
like
other
advertising it. Like FNP90 can do anything for you.
Dude, if the fucking P90 sponsored us, God, we would
Smith
not.
and Wesson's like, yeah, we would like a sponsorship with you, Prude dudes.
We really feel like the audience you attract is untapped market potential. I was like, yep, like
we noticed that you talk about how all the people who buy guns are stupid dumbasses. So we're gonna have to ask you to delete that.
We're going to ask you to delete all 58 of your episodes.
You called gun owners cucks, so we're gonna need you to fix that up.
Yeah, it's not acceptable for the brand.
Give me pictures of Spider-Man. He's a cuck. That first episode still makes me laugh.
I was watching The Dark Knight the other day again.
Netflix
now.
now.
Netflix.
Everybody go watch
that movie's really fucking good. But at the same time, I had this like Assassin's Creed mentality because Batman was doing all this fucking like kung fu and hand-to-hand combat and shit, and I was like, a lot of this would be easier if he at least had like a projectile or projectile weapon to use. Yeah. Because he has to slowly like make his way over to each person.
Taser or something.
Yeah. He's like, punch this guy.
He's got a taser in his suit, but it only works in that movie when someone tries to take his mask off. Like,
yeah. I was like, couldn't you have like put that in a like launcher kind of thing?
Have a machine gun of like tasers.
At least have something that shoots like rubber bullets or like tranquilizer darts. Like, there's just so many scenarios in which Batman doesn't even have a batarang. He never does. He ever use the batarang in the Christian Bale movies? Nothing comes to mind for me. He had that one gun where he shoots like the little gel explosives, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah, the little fucking like it looks like spit.
Yeah.
No, it looks like nut kind of. Like it's got the little grenade in it, and it's just like he nuts on a building like 300 meters away.
Just really expensive nut balls.
He has a fucking grenade launcher, but he refuses to buy a taser.
Exactly. You know what? The fucking weirdest part about that movie is like all the people started dressing up as Batman to like try and like fight crime.
That's so fucking dumb. And they were using machine guns.
It's like that one guy in the beginning who was like,
What's the difference between you and me? He's got like jowls.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not wearing my mom's hockey pads.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
And I'm like, Jesus. I forgot how
weird
the voice
up
is.
And it's just like, I mean, this is the best I could do. And there's like a conversation ensues.
I was like, whoa.
Well, I mean, like, my stuff is kind of better than yours and I can afford to protect myself. It's just like, well, technically that's true. But if you look at it from my perspective, he's like, has an actual conversation while he's trying to leave.
It's like, that's a pretty classist way to look at things, Batman. You know, it's like you don't think the
let's
poor
style
should
it
be able to
back
defend
here,
themselves.
buddy. You're pretty bigoted from my position.
You got some pretty loaded language. You got some prejudices you want to talk about?
You know, watch your mouth, you rich motherfucker.
God, I forget how...
You're probably Bruce Wayne. He's like, no.
What? No.
You know what I've been thinking about a lot? I tweeted this, but it tickles me so much, the idea of Batman calling Clark Kent a dork. Just that. It's just the smallest thing, but it would make me laugh so fucking hard. Just like, it's just like, it was that College Humor thing was similar to it, where he's just like, why did you base your alter ego off of one of the musical Newsies? Are you crutchy? He's like, I'm not crutchy. I didn't base Clark Kent off crutchy. He's like, I'm getting a strong feeling that he's crutchy.
Another thing in that movie that's really funny.
My main enemy is basically a roided out jock. I would use your laser vision to cut off Bane's arms.
You tweeted about this, but in the opening scene where like the Russian gangsters are like mad at Scarecrow, he's like, your product made all my customers insane.
Yeah, and what the fuck are you talking about? I did tweet that. I was like, are you surprised? He's like, the only thing he makes is the terrifying toxin. That's it. He doesn't make anything else. And you're like, your drugs made my customers have seizures. And he's just like, yep, that's what it does. If you don't like my product, buy something else. And he said it so coy. Yeah. And I was just like, just tell him that, like, you make that and nothing else. That's it. That's all you make.
Like, what did this guy think he was buying Like, did he think he was describing a
weed.
high so powerful that you would like lose your shit in like a like exaggerated sense? And it was like, oh, I like the sound of this. And it was like, oh no, it literally makes people lose their shit.
Lose your shit. And he was like, cool, I'll buy 100 gallons of it.
And it's like, my dogs are hungry.
He's like, you brought dogs to kill a man. He's like buying a grenade and then coming back and be like, hey, this blew up, you motherfucker. What are you? I thought this was a pineapple.
Hey, you asshole. Why did this explode? I was like, oh, I don't know.
Your grenades made my customers explode.
Shit, that wasn't supposed to happen.
You dumb shit.
Did you buy my insurance policy?
How much you want? He's like, half. And he was just like, what do you propose? He's like, you're going to give him half all of your money?
It's amazing how quickly.
I want to hear proposition.
You know that weird scene where he puts a bounty out on the Joker, and then the Joker shows up in a body bag and like
Joker Joes up.
The Joker jokes up.
The Joker.
The Joker jokes up in a baggy bod.
It's like Hugh Jackman's The Greatest Showman, except he's a Joker, and he goes like, "Hello."
Everything he does is musical.
Mm-hmm.
But when he fucking puts that knife in the guy's mouth, he's like, haha, surprise, it's me, the real Joker. And he like fucking slits his throat or his mouth or whatever, and he just drops
cuts his
floor.
mouth. I don't know why that killed him instantly.
And there's like, that, and also there's like no blood whatsoever. It's like
he just sort of falls over. He falls asleep.
Yeah, it's the most like PG-13 fucking kill like I've ever seen, and that's like the only thing.
He picks up a pool cue, breaks it in half.
Yeah,
he's like, we're
having tryouts,
aggressive expansion, and then he looks at both of the pool cue things, and then selects the other one, and then throws it. It's like, is there a difference between the two things?
Yeah.
Or is there like a big like sharpness variety among these two halves of a pool cue? And he throws one, and then he was like, make it fast. It's like, do you think these two people are gonna fucking kill each other with a pool cue because you threw it at them?
The qualities of this maple wood pool cue are not.
Let me select the proper.
Not rigid enough.
Vintage.
So this oak wood.
The sanding on this is just simply awful.
Wait.
There's a lot of sloppy workmanship in here, and then he throws it, and he's like, "Make it fast." And then he's like, the rest of the day, he's thinking about that pool cue. He's just like, it's just, what does it say about America if we can't get a proper pool cue?
We used to make shit in this country. There's a lot of shit in this movie.
Are we not American anymore?
A lot of shit in this movie that I laughed at, even though this movie is like great and amazing, obviously. But when
a lot of Batman moving is so fucking silly.
It looks
he's
so
like
rough.
This blocky. He's like his arms can't move that much because it'll like break the costume.
Yeah.
So he's like, he's like a torso that just like selects areas to maintain himself in.
Like they have to
he just
shoot
moves
around
like a polygon.
My favorite thing was when Harvey Dent was in the hospital after he becomes Two-Face. And the Joker, and the Joker's like talking to him with like the wig and like the mouth mask on.
He has to take his
and
mask
he's
off
like,
to recognize
and he's like mad, and he's like, "What the fuck? Who is this? Who are you?" And you can clearly see like all the makeup in the eyes. Yeah. And as soon as he takes it off, he's like, "Hi." He's like, "It was you the whole time." And I was like, "Really?
The Joker?
Who? You didn't fucking recognize the very obvious makeup? The only person you know that wears makeup exactly like this?"
It was like a Scooby-Doo reveal. It's like, Old Man Withers, I would have gotten away with it too if Batman hadn't killed Harvey Dent.
Oh my god. That movie is still a 10 out of 10.
It's like a 9, maybe an 8.
Like a 9. Do you like Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises too?
I do not like Batman Begins.
You don't like Batman Begins?
No, it's very weird.
That movie,
silly.
I think that movie's pretty dope actually. It's better than
I like
Dark
the
Knight
third
in some
one.
regards.
Visually, it's
Really?
fun.
A lot of people don't like The Dark Knight Rises for a lot of reasons. It's weird to think that The Dark Knight Rises and The Dark Knight came out during the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and now we're already in like another era of like Ben Affleck Batman. It's so weird.
An era of shit.
Like 2008 was The Dark Knight and Iron Man. Like Christian Bale playing Batman, Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man. And then 10 years later, only one of them has been successful enough to survive in like a proper capacity.
I feel like Nolan's trilogy is pretty successful. It's like
Yeah.
this packaged, like good story.
I mean, it definitely had
it ends at some point. Whereas with Marvel, they're going to be making movies for 8 billion years. Here's all the projects we're going to be working on over the course of the next 900 years.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Christopher Nolan's thing has
An end.
a finite ending, right?
Yeah.
And he blows up the nuke in the ocean and goes to eat pasta for the rest of his life.
And the guy named Robin is going to be the new Batman.
I like your birth name, Robin.
I like your birth name, Boy Wonder.
Robin Boy Wonder. And your middle name
is... Imagine if his first name was Boy. Batman's sidekick is my middle name. It's like when Juggernaut says, "Let's fuck some shit up" is my legal middle name in Deadpool 2. Yeah. I love that movie so much.
So much?
Shut up. It's so much not as bad as what you said. The Shoker Joes up. Fucking idiot.
The Shoker.
The Shoker Joes up. It's like the Greatest Showman Joker gets some coffee. I'm Joeing up.
Shoker Joe's up in a baggy bod.
He's got a trash bag on. Why did it feel like he had like strips of trash bag? He was just like covered in this weird like mummification of trash bag.
It's the Joker. I didn't know he was covered in trash bag.
I didn't recognize him. He was in a trash bag. He was wearing a nurse's outfit and he had full Joker makeup on. He worked there like all day. Yeah. He did like a 9-hour shift as a nurse, but in a Joker costume.
He was like doing a really good job otherwise, like up until that point. Like he was.
We need to set up
courteous.
An IV. This person's gonna lose blood.
He's like, "Hey, are you new here?" It's like, "There's no time."
There's no time. I already checked in with my timesheet. You remember when we had to do fucking written timesheets at the pool?
Oh yeah,
fucking much that
was
sucked.
So archaic, and we had to wait for the paychecks to come every like 2 weeks and
fuck
stuff.
That shit, man. I'm so fucking happy for direct deposit because it's just money appears in my bank, and I don't even remember earning it because I fucking sleep 2 hours a night.
That's like the thing about working full time is that you work so much that you don't have time to spend your own money. And like, in a way,
when you do spend your money, it's just like I bought a TV. It's like, what? How did you buy a TV? Because I have $9 million. Because all I do is work.
Exactly. This summer, like I would have made a big purchase, but I've been saving up for going to London in the fall.
I shot my TV with a BB gun.
But then, did you actually?
I did actually.
Went
off in my hand.
You fucking idiot!
I feel like such a fucking idiot. It's like pointing it at yourself and shooting yourself accidentally. But I shot my TV with a BB gun.
Is this your like?
Crack in it. And it's also like perfectly perched on where Bayek's head is in Assassin's Creed Origins, so it's just like it looks like he got shot in the head and he cracked open.
So your tiny ass TV now has a
tiny crack in it.
Dude, that's so fucking sad. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna replace it because I don't care, but you know.
Is that one of those weird like BB guns you bought on Amazon one day?
I bought 2 BB guns.
You bought really like
M1911.
Really like realistic looking BB guns on Amazon, and you didn't remember buying them.
It's so weird.
Like they look really real, and
they also punch the shit out of everything. Like specifically the revolver, those have metal BBs. They're like pellets.
Yeah,
that will go through anything. It went through my wall and my boot.
What the fuck? Were you shooting your boot?
I was like, I bet it'll never go through this, and it'll just indent itself into the boot. But I went through the boot and through the other side of the boot and then into the wall.
God damn. I feel like that would be an actual like defense against like a home invader potentially.
Yeah, it would sting.
Yeah, like if you could get it in the eye, like
how would you get it out?
What do you mean, the BB?
Yeah, out of a person.
I feel
like syringes. No, not syringes. What's the fucking word? Pincers?
No, fucking
tweezers.
Tweezers, yeah. I mean,
tweezers are the most useful fucking thing ever. I've operated on my feet so many fucking times with tweezers.
What the fuck are you doing to your feet?
I get ingrown toenails. I don't know why. Ew. My dad has them as well. But it's this barb of your toe that grows to the side. So imagine like your toe or your thumb, and then on the side of the nail, there's an under the skin part that bores into your foot, and every time you put pressure on it, it just sticks into your foot and hurts a lot. So you have to stick a little pincer or something into the nail and then flip it up. It's really, really painful. You have to flip it up and then cut it off. And so at this point, I've got almost no toenail on either of my toes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's very bloody and very painful.
God, there's so much shit other people have to go through that I like don't even know about, and I'm so grateful. Like kidney stones. Kidney stones are one of my worst nightmares.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Luckily, I've never had a kidney stone. One time I had a fucking UTI, and it was the most painful, like, weirdest experience of my life. I was scared to pee for like a month.
Jesus.
After I had it.
Did you pee blood?
I don't think so. A little bit. But then I took some weird like UTI drug that made all my pee like orange.
What the fuck?
So I like couldn't tell. Yeah, it was weird.
I was once with a girl who said she bled after sex, and then she said, "Oh, I think I might have a UTI," and I'm like, "Is that what happens to women if they have UTIs?"
I don't know. All I know is
I thought you were typing for a second. It's like, are you looking this up?
I need to know.
Do women bleed out of their vaginas if they have a UTI?
I know they bleed if like they pee. Like when you pee, you can definitely bleed. Like that's definitely a common symptom of UTI.
I learned so late in my life that I'm not old. That makes it sound weird, but I learned only
my time is up.
That girl nut is like mostly pee.
Oh, that's gross. I never really put that much thought into it.
That's what like 3 people that talked to me actually in the same apartment where I put on booty shorts. They were like, "Yeah, girl nut is like 50% or like 60% pee," and I was like, "What? Have I been pissed on?" It was weird.
I need to contact my source on this.
This issue. Contact Kalina.
Yeah, I was like, "Have you been peeing on
either
me?"
They were lying to me, or my life has been filled with so much fucking piss.
I think it's a little bit of pee, but I don't think it's
like some fluid that the thing is about. That's a sex fluid and mostly pee. Because it's a lot. So can you imagine where it's being stored? Our grasp on female anatomy is very.
I know. I'm always like embarrassed about like how much I don't. I feel like I always have a good grasp.
I have to revisit learning about the vagina every fucking day of my life because there's a new function or organ that I discover and I have to learn about.
There's on Netflix. There's this show called Explained. It's from Vox. They make like really cool like YouTube videos.
They really do.
They did a episode. Last week's episode was on the female ejaculation. And I was like, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on like how this works and stuff.
Magic and there's a gnome involved, and you're like, what the fuck?
I was like, geez, I didn't know there was a whole village down there.
There's like 87 like little workers.
Yeah,
you're like, all right, it's gonna come.
It's
Let's
like
get some piss in there.
It's like the Smurfs, and they're all pressing like levers and buttons and shit, and it all like has to work together. But I learned all about stimulation in different parts of the body that assist. Okay, hang on. I looked up this article. Is the stuff? I'm just gonna control FP. It's probably not all pee, but researchers aren't so probably sure yet. That's not reassuring.
That's amazing. It's probably not all pee. It sounds like an answer you would get if you just asked any random person. It's like, do you think that all of the woman cum is pee? It's like, it's probably not all pee.
Some experts say that the fluid unquestionably comes from the Skene's glands.
Skenes?
S-K-E-N-E. That's new. Tiny glands surrounding the urethra, and it's not pee, while others say that it's absolutely urine.
Why do they want it to be pee?
Explains Lauren Stryker, MD, medical director of the Northwestern Medicine Center for Sexual Medicine and Menopause.
And also interested in having being peed on.
Quote, "This is controversial, and it's also difficult to study. I think that both are true," she says.
Jesus Christ.
Do they not have enough people?
I can see how that would be difficult to study.
Do they not have enough people to like come and pee?
Because the female orgasm is so hard to reproduce.
Do they not have enough people to like come and pee?
No, they just have terrible people having sex with them.
That's true.
It's like, Jerry, what are you fucking doing? Step it up. This is research. And the girl's like, he's really fucking bad at this. Why don't I just do it myself? Like, no, it has to be during sex.
The only thing this research is going to find out, Jerry, is how much you fucking suck at this.
We need her to pee. Do you think your parents are hearing us having the weirdest conversation in the world?
Oh, wait. I just realized they were home. I totally forgot about that. Oh, that's weird. Okay.
That's why your dog was having a fucking seizure.
Well, my dogs pee on the fucking floor all the time, actually.
Are they incontinent?
What? They're in the continent, yes. They're in the continental United States.
I'm not sure if it applies to pee as well as poop, but if you're old and you're incontinent, it means you can't control your own bowel movements.
Yeah, they're pretty old. So I think she likes to pee on like the floor when like a little bit, like little droppings, like when we're away for too long, and she gets mad. It's like her way of like fucking like getting back at us. It's so annoying.
Shitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if people did that to spite someone? I'm gonna shit on the floor in the office because I don't like Becca.
What's that fucking Lonely Island song? Shit on Deborah's desk. God.
Talk to corporate.
Approve memos. Okay.
Hang out in the sewer. And I'm like, what?
Like fuck the fish guy or something. Okay. I feel like we should talk about real quick on a more serious note. Just like give our condolences to like the victims of like the Jacksonville shooting.
It bothers
just
me
happened.
This is gonna keep happening.
So this show's been around for more than a year now, and I feel like
We've covered this like
we've like
4 times.
done this a few times now. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
It was like the first time we were like very somber about it, and the second time we were also very somber, and third time we were just like sort of tired of it, and then the fifth time is just like, God damn, this is just gonna keep happening, and like, it will. If nothing changes. Like
the sad thing is I can't even remember like every time we've talked about this. I know Parkland was one. And I know there was another one in between this one and that one. I just don't remember what it is.
Parkland is the one that we named the podcast.
Yes,
Florida.
That's why, because it like happened like that day.
Yeah,
and it was like such big news.
And the way we recorded it before, we knew it was happening, or maybe it was a different shooting we were thinking of. But we knew the shooting happened, and then we started recording. But we didn't talk about it right away. We talked about other stuff like some jokes, and then. You or Yaman, you look on your phone, you say, oh, there's a Twitter moment for Parkland's shooting. And it makes it, then we start talking about it, and it makes it sound like we just found out about it.
Yeah. But, like, we definitely
we knew.
Yeah.
We just didn't want to start, like, the entire podcast off with...
Yeah. It's hard to, like... When you don't bring up something like as heavy as that initially, like some people don't think you're taking it seriously enough.
Yeah, exactly. And also we were laughing our asses off about something.
Yeah.
Right away.
Like this episode is a great example of us like laughing about stupid shit for like an hour before we even bring this up. But I feel like you want to sandwich
it's not our like prerogative to bring it up. We don't have to. And I almost prefer when we don't because it's like there are what will bringing it up for us do to help them?
That's right. Yeah.
And I mean, there's like so many people already covering it. It's like us mentioning it is not a sin. And I think that people who, I'm not saying any of the victims listen to us, but the people playing Madden probably didn't care about us. But like it's nice to have a reprieve from evil. And not saying we're the best source of that in the world, but we are a source of it. Yeah.
So I just think it's like good to like touch on it so like people know we're not like totally tone deaf to like the events of the world and whatnot.
Yeah. But it's hard to do that and then let's make jokes about dicks after.
Right. So
it like removes all of the tones of happiness.
Yeah. And I mean, I would just like to say that obviously this is terrible and
so bad, so
the video game especially strange because it happened directly around like a video game event,
and now people are saying video games make people violent.
Yeah, which is that argument was always fucking stupid, and this even more ridiculous and stupid because they were playing fucking Madden, which is a football video game. Like, what? That's just dumb as fuck. Like, obviously you have a kid with some. He had like mental issues beforehand,
and he lost or something, and he got really mad.
Yeah, and there's just so many problems to address and unpack there, and people always ask themselves like, how could we have prevented this? How could we prevent the next one?
What kind of gun did he use?
I actually don't know.
He had a laser. Do you remember the fucking stream?
Oh,
where the
stream
kid, he's playing. He's got a controller, and he's looking at the screen, and then he looks away because he hears something, and then he looks back. And then you see a red dot on his chest.
Yeah.
And then the shooting starts. And you hear people fucking scream. This evil fucking cunt deleted human beings with something he could hold in his hand. That is too much power for anyone. Fuck that guy.
That was like this, like a very like haunting video.
It was
like,
so fucking
that
brutal. It was so bad. People
up.
Were screaming. One kid said, "What did he shoot me with?" And then I heard another gunshot go off, and he doesn't say anything after that. And I really fucking hope that kid survived.
Yeah. That shit was
so fucking sad.
Crazy. But obviously, I hope all the victims are recovering and stuff. EA just like donated like $1 million to like help all them out, which is actually really nice. I know people like to shit on EA.
Did you see that a lot of the people that were attending that got away and weren't hurt said, I'm never going back to one of those events. I'm never going to, do a championship again.
There was
can't do that.
A lot of esports people that said that I've been saying this for like years now. Esports events need better security. And part of me is like, at some point, yeah, when your events get so big, they probably do need some level of security. But it's just like sad that
it's necessary.
This is like the event that made it like necessary, But like, and I can see like potentially like now like more security is gonna make it like way more serious, and there might be like some escalations that are unnecessary and get out of hand because of that. It just opens up a whole nother like can of worms. But I guess I can understand. And this wasn't even like the most serious event either. Like this was at like a bar. It was like a Madden tournament at like a bar. It wasn't like, oh, we rented out this whole fucking stadium to play like Madden. It was like a pretty, like, it was like still like a professional event, I think, like officially sponsored by EA, but it wasn't like the biggest esports thing in the world. So I don't know. It's just like heartbreaking as always.
It's so fucking awful. And there was like also this overarching tone everybody was talking about where it was just like, so nowhere is safe. So even an event about fucking Madden is going to be, subject to like the assault of, everyone. It's so fucking awful.
Yeah. And I think another thing about this that people are bringing up is, should we or should we not be blacking out the name of the shooter? And I know more and more people are like, yeah, we should be not giving these fuckers like any notoriety.
Philip DeFranco talks about that all the time.
Yeah. And I'm like more and more inclined to agree with that.
Because in most cases, like, they want that attention. Like, the kid who shot up Parkland, I'm pretty sure he recorded, pretty sure he was the one who shot him up, but the kid who shot up Parkland recorded a video, like, the day before or something, and it's just like,
yeah,
everyone's going to know my name, and I'm going to do it with this gun, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And, I was actually surprised at, and I don't know if this was a conscious effort on like the media's part or if the police withheld his name for a long time, but I still don't know the dude's name. I know I saw it at least once on Twitter from somewhere, but I haven't been seeing it from like other places. Like this guy, like I don't even know what he looks like. I just know that he's like white or something.
There's no like universally accepted rule for like reporting on stuff. So there are agencies like Fox will just say like, yeah, this is the shooter's name. CNN will just say, this is the shooter's name. This is his face. But then some of them won't. Like, there's not like a universal law about that. And it should be like, if someone does something fucking awful, they don't deserve to be advertised everywhere. You don't actually need to see his face or hear his name to grasp that he's an evil cunt. You don't need to know that.
Yeah.
But people want to. Like, I remember I used to do this as well. It's just like I want to find out I need to attach like a person to this, identity of evil so I can like grasp it. But it doesn't help you like process that awful feeling better. Maybe for the families, it's like, I need to know who did this to my kid. I get that, but why do I need to know?
Yeah. And like, I like kind of struggled with this for a while because as someone like who works in like news, I'm like, well, as much as like you don't like it and like how shitty it might be, like the name of like the suspect or like the shooter is like a part of the story. Like it's just a part of the facts and like the historical, like, taking this down basically. Like you can't just like leave that out. But more and more I'm just like, I think you can still not like broadcast his name and still like
the information
keep it for the books,
available,
yeah,
like Wikipedia or whatever.
Like you can still like keep it for the like quote unquote history books or whatever, but like don't make him like famous.
It's this fascination people have with why. It's like, why did he do that? I need to know why.
Yeah.
But it almost like beyond any thing that you can do to prevent this from happening before it happens. Beyond any of that, I as a person do not need to know why.
Yeah. Okay. And on
It's
that
like the
note,
fascination people have with like murderers from like the 70s and like serial killers.
yeah.
That's the same thing that people fucking say on Twitter. Is like, I don't want to talk about like, I don't want to have small talk. Let's talk about serial killers and blah 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 blah. It's like that's not really that interesting.
Yeah.
I'm kind of obsessed with that.
Okay. On that note, let's move on to some more better things from great, amazing people. We got we're always getting lots of emails these days, and it's great. So thank you all so much for those.
Didn't we get one that was like from what's his name, and he was like mad at us?
Oh no, I replied and like asked him if like we said anything that made him mad, and he's like, no, you're good. Sorry. I don't know. It was like a very confusing situation. But yeah, I don't think
someone
we
emailed
pissed
us
anyone
kind
off.
of like, I was on the fence about whether or not they were upset because I couldn't tell by the wording.
Yeah.
And then I guess he wasn't upset according to him.
I was really confused and worried about that. But anyways, this first one is from Marianne, who's like an amazing person. I just wanted to tell you that I really enjoy your podcast. I really like that you're all very down to earth and how the podcast seems unorganized, but somehow goes smoothly. I really hope you continue to do this in the future. I know you guys mentioned that you might film a YouTube video or something where you're playing video games, and I wanted to say that I would really enjoy that, even if I don't play video games at all. Not that my opinion matters that much, but I thought it would be good to tell you it matters. You're great. This is for Alex. I'm sorry to tell you that you did not pronounce my last name correctly. Well, fuck me. But it's okay. I really don't mind. It's actually very funny to hear my name said with an English accent. Is that English? Like American English, I guess.
What is her name?
Marianne Boucher. Well, I'm about to butcher it, but I was wondering how you got into journalism. Like, what led you to go into that career path? I'm asking because I'm thinking about studying that field as well. Hang on. Does her name have a... She didn't leave me a pronouncing guide. I thought she did.
Like, you pronounced my name wrong, idiot. I'm not going to tell you how to pronounce it.
I'm not going to tell you how, idiot. I guess it's Marianne Boucher. It's like French, and she's from Quebec, so that's really cool.
Quebecois.
Also, question for Patrick. I started working out recently, and I know you talked about that in a podcast. However, I can't find it. So I was wondering, in your opinion, what is the best food to eat before and after workout? Sorry for the long email. Thanks in advance. Love from Quebec. Quebecois. Marianne, the French person. Is that offensive when I like try to do this like French like?
I've always thought about like
pronunciation.
If you do an impression of someone and you are also white, people probably won't care. But if you do like an African accent, people will be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Or like an Asian thing, like that'd be bad.
Yeah. That's probably even worse
very bad
because the impressions people do are fucking awful. Like that guy from Andy Rooney or whatever.
Yeah,
when he was like, I'm not even gonna do an impression of his impression, but it was fucking awful.
It'd be bad. Thank you for your email, Marianne. As for how I got into journalism, my main thinking was I was really into like tech in high school, so I was doing some computer science classes, and I liked like the first one I took, but then the second one I took was really, really fucking hard, and I like started hating it. So I was like, how can I do my interest in tech, but also combine it with English and things that aren't like math and like complicated. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna become a tech journalist, and eventually that just evolved into like journalism as a whole. Like for a while I wanted to be like an entertainment journalist and cover like movies and shit, and now I'm doing politics. So the best thing about journalism, I think, is that it can evolve with your interests, because whatever you're interested in, you can always just like cover that as a journalist, and that's like a really unique aspect to the field that I think is always exciting. Because even if you change your mind about what you like, you can just cover that instead, and it's great, and that's what I love about it. So I would definitely recommend that as well. Patrick, what is the best food to eat before and after a workout?
Before workout, I'm not sure about the food you eat before and after specifically. After workout, you definitely need to. I don't know what kind of person you're trying to become, but for me, I have a protein shake before, and I don't eat anything specifically afterwards, which may not be the way to do it. I don't know. I'm not like a professional trainer or anything like that.
Yeah. You have a protein shake before you work out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I always do it after, because that's when your muscles are like
you absorb it better when you're post workout, but I don't know. I just don't do it.
Yeah. Or you could just have one before and one after. I'm sure that works too.
Yeah, that'll make you feel really nice.
Yeah, just get fucking like jacked. All right. This one is from Nathan. This was a lengthy, very thoughtful email. This
is
is in
about the gay thing.
Yes. Do you want to read it?
I mean,
or do you
I don't
not
know
have
if
it even open?
like, it's necessary to read the entire thing because that's a very, very long email.
I'll try and like skim through this, but basically Nathan said, "Love your show. I'm gay and I'd like to add to a topic on casting." So we were talking about Disney casting a straight guy to play like a
Jack
gay
Whitehall.
character. Yeah, Jack Whitehall. Tom Hanks' role in Philadelphia was a pivotal moment for the gay community, and Tom Hanks is neither gay nor an HIV patient. So Tom Hanks in that movie, for those who aren't familiar, played a gay HIV patient. If that role had been relegated to someone who was actually gay and out at the time, that film would have had a mere fraction of the audience and not gone down as one of the best American films ever made. People seem to forget that actors are actors and not always advocates or politicians, and while it would have been nice for someone like The Rock Hudson or Kevin Spacey to have been publicly out and given those kinds of roles and not been a sexual predator in the case of the latter, it wasn't the case, and Tom did a great service to our struggle as gays and lesbians by lending his star power to a story of our struggle. I love Jack Whitehall, and I think that by embracing his own queerness and pushing the bounds of intimacy between men as he does makes the world a better place for all men, not just the gay ones, and I'm glad he has that role, and I can't wait to see it. And then he goes on to say
the last part.
Yeah, and then he goes on to say that, you know, transgender advocates are really doing themselves a disservice by antagonizing people like Scarlett Johansson. You know, because otherwise his initial message about it reaching more people and like that kind of lifestyle being exposed to more people is put at risk, and it actually does more harm in the end than good. And also that historically the LGBT community has traditionally included all people in their embrace of identity, including straight people. But gender is different. From that reason, the LGBTI community needs to be less defensive when people show an interest in telling our stories. There are plenty to go around. Thank you for your email.
He also had something at the very end.
At the reply, you guys were great on the pod, and I have only seen parts of Philadelphia. It's really heavy stuff. I'm more of a Raiders of the Lost Ark or Aliens type of guy, but I still appreciate what it did for me. Also, you never actually confirmed if Patrick is gay or not.
Why do people care? I'm not gay. I like every kind of person.
So you're just, I feel like people will like call you poly.
What is
or
it?
something.
Is it pan or bi? Is it
pan?
I don't even know what the
pan,
word is.
not poly.
Pansexual sounds stupid. Pan. What does pan mean?
It means you are sexually attracted exclusively to Peter Pan.
Or like cookware.
Yeah. Just put your dick in.
Someone's probably gonna be like, "Oh,
pans.
you said pan sounds stupid." It's like, yeah, I'm definitely talking about the sexuality and not that the name is dumb.
So thank you for your email, Nathan. That was actually one of the cooler emails we got because it was from that kind of perspective, but like from the opposite opinion. You know, like someone in the gay community who is kind of against what the majority of like woke Twitter we see is saying.
Yeah, woke Twitter can sometimes be out of hand.
Too woke. This one's from Megan. It confuses the fuck out of me every single damn time y'all say donkey, because that's a childhood nickname for my twin brother. So I always have to take a minute and be like, how the fuck do you know my brother and why are you talking about him? We are talking about him.
We're talking about Video Game Donkey, who is a YouTuber that's my fucking favorite person on earth. Ooh, jam alert. They got my jam. I would wear a shirt that just has in very small text in the pocket, "Oop, jam alert, they got my
jam." This one's from Mia. Howdy dudes, my name's Mia and I started binge listening to these over the summer while doing all my AP summer homework. Curious side note, I wonder how you guys like found out about the podcast, like especially like all the recent people that are just jumping on, because people are like, yeah, I just found out and started listening to all of them. Like, how did you even like fucking find us?
Because I'll post like a screenshot of the iTunes thing on my Instagram, so a lot of people will come from there, but they won't mention where they came from.
Because we've been doing that for like a long time, and just recently we had like a significant bump. But okay. Also, if you go back and listen to the first episode, I'm sorry, it sucks. I've never laughed hard, TBH, or agreed with y'all more than on a lot of subjects. Anyway, now that school started, I listen to y'all as I drive myself to 5:30 a.m. cross country practice. I laugh so much it keeps me awake. So in conclusion, just like to say thank you for making such a masterpiece and keep up the good work. Salutations, Mia. Thank you, Mia. Glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad we can keep you awake. Fucking cross country. I hate fucking running. And I hate waking up early. So waking up that fucking early to do that shit, like
5:30 a.m. I've been awake for 2 hours and at work.
I fucking hate that shit. Nuh-uh. This one's from Devin. A cool reward for higher tier donors could be like copies of Patrick drawings or something. I think that would be cool. I think that would be cool too, Devin.
Yeah, we talked about this and it's not gonna happen.
It's because Patrick like doesn't do,
because I already share them on my story. So why would we send them to people?
Yeah, it's like it'd be weird because then we
also,
basically have to start charging.
I don't have like it in me to just draw things for people.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would be like, it wouldn't be like on demand. Like, hey, can you draw this thing for me? It's just like, this is what I happen to draw.
Yeah, but so draw what? What if I draw something and they're like, well, that's not really cool looking or something like that? It's just way too complicated.
This one's from Nadia. Make that merch. Hey guys, long time Prude dudes aficionado. Not sure what else to call myself since Patrick hates the word fan. Really love the idea of you guys having some sort of merch. Not a crazy merch collector, but when it supports people I really enjoy and appreciate, I'm all about it. Love the nice idea of a simple and stylish shirt. I trust you guys to make a nice design I can wear. So I was thinking of what we can go on the shirts or other types of merch, and I thought of a few cute things besides the logo listeners would get. So here are a few things to get the ideas flowing. Quote, where's Yaman? Or bring back Yaman. Quote, mostly lifeguards, or quote, stoner lifeguard club, and quote, don't touch me. Also, side note, I really love the new look of the brand, and also I pay for a signed empty Coke can. I'd probably throw it out since I'm not creepy.
Sure we can sell
I pay for a good laugh
because they're Coke.
I think someone would just swab your DNA and then make a clone of you. I know making merch is hard and not so easy to just make, but it's just an idea. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Sincerely, Nadia. Thank you, Nadia. We and Patrick took a trip to Custom Ink to feel out t-shirts and sweaters and hoodies and hats and stuff, and we have all the like products down that we want to use. Like, we know exactly what brand of t-shirt, what brand of hoodie and stuff we want to use. We just have to like finish up on the designs. So
yeah, I have to finish up on the
designs. Patrick has to fucking finish up on the designs, and then we'll do it.
I'm busy drawing my car fucking jet plane.
Your fucking car on a robot that Patrick spent like 2 hours talking to me on Xbox.
I was having a lot of fun. And
you were passing around the phone.
Xbox, and I just love the idea of like my car. My car is an awesome fucking car, and people say it's stupid, and it's not. I have a 2003 Acura with leather interior. It's a great car, and I want that car interior to be the interior of a spaceship, like a jet fighter spaceship thing. And I explained that to Pena over the course of like 6 fucking hours. I was having a lot of fun.
It was fun for me too. This is from Emily. Hey guys, love your podcast a lot. I recently started college and it's a big campus, so I listen to the podcast on my walks to class, and I keep laughing at the shit you guys say. People give me weird looks because I'm laughing at nothing. Questions for the podcast: what are your dream careers, and do you have a life plan? Thanks. People always ask us these
can you
big, heavy questions.
Tell me what to do when I get into college? Like, how do I register for a job? It's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Can you do my homework?
I don't know.
Well, obviously, I want to be a journalism person. I want to more.
My family are racist, and they're gonna kick me out of my house if I bring around my black boyfriend. So what do I do? It's like
I found out I'm inbred, and I also have cancer.
How do I fix this? This is just a picture of a blown up house.
What was I saying? Yeah, I want to be journalism. I want to be like a producer on like on a newsroom.
I want.
Shut the fuck up.
Joker. Jones.
Shut up.
Keep reading, idiot.
I would like to be I'm reading for me. I'm talking. I want to be like a producer on like some sort of news program. I was an intern for CBS this summer, so I like did some production stuff for them. I did production intern for like an NPR show called On Point, which is great. So I love that kind of work. It's a lot more fun to work in like multimedia and stuff and not just like write shit down all the time. So that's definitely what I'm aiming for. Patrick, do you have a life plan?
I'd like to be a content creator full time.
That's good.
That'd be nice.
Okay. We're working
that's pretty
on
much everybody's fucking dream nowadays.
You're doing the dream right now.
I mean, I make money off of it already, but not enough to live. So I have to do a regular job like a fucking simpleton.
Like a fucking normie. All right, this one is from Liz. Hey guys, so the thing with James Gunn being fired from Disney makes some sense actually. Disney has a very specific image that they work crazy hard to maintain. They fired Jake Paul for I forgot Jake Paul worked for Disney for a time. For public disturbances, and all Disney Channel and Disney affiliated stars who are minors have to wear promise rings for celibacy and abstinence.
What?
I know they did that back in the day, but I don't know if they still do that.
I didn't hear anything you said. I was just staring at the desk, and then you said, blah, 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 blah. Children have to wear abstinence rings. And I was just like, huh?
The Disney Channel stars have to wear abstinence rings.
I mean, I get it. Like, it's weird to... Like, obviously, kids shouldn't be having sex. But in my head, it's weird to think about having a kid wear an abstinence ring. For some reason. It's weird.
No, you're, like, marking them. It's fucking weird. And character actors in parks aren't allowed to talk about what they actually do. There are so many things that actors and Disney people aren't allowed to do that firing James Gunn for what he tweeted 10 years ago isn't that surprising. If you look into it, you'd be surprised at what all isn't allowed. That's definitely something to take into consideration if you're discussing anything Disney related. Liz, thank you, Liz. I definitely know Disney is like trying to protect their brand. I just think they're being huge dumbasses about it, and I definitely disagree. Like all the things you just listed, I think are dumb and should stop. And this
people are fucking annoying as shit. Woke Twitter is acting like it's obvious that he should be. It's not like, I get it's obvious that Disney did it, but it's not the obvious answer that he should have been fired. Fuck Dave Bautista. It's like, what are you talking about? It's 10 years ago.
There was this crazy fucking thread with Dave Bautista was defending James Gunn, because he was like being a good friend to him, and so many fucking people were like, "LOL, bye." And I was like they're like, yeah, they can just replace him with like Vin Diesel or The Rock. And I was like, are you serious? Like, fuck off. Like, Dave Bautista's like a great guy and he does a great job with that character. If you want to see him gone, like,
he's met him. I feel like Dave Bautista's like a genuine good person. Yeah, and working with someone that intimately, you gain a knowledge of what they're like and what they're about. I feel like I trust his judgment that James Gunn isn't a raging cunt like he was 10 years ago.
Exactly. So, thank you for your email. That's just where
decade ago.
Seriously, decade ago. What was this? I don't even want to know the dumb shit I was doing. Okay. Okay, that's all it for the emails. Just want to say, if you are a $5 and up patron on our Patreon, that's patreon.com/PrudeDudes. We have sent out all of the personalized emails and thank yous to each and every one of you. So thank you all so much. And if you haven't gotten that for whatever reason, let us know and we'll like resend it or figure something out. I'll send you a signed Coke can. And I'd just like to take this moment to thank all of our Patreon patrons. We've got Ever Sojo, we've got Katie, we've got Monty, we've got Jessica, we've got Marianne, we've got David, we got Rebecca, and we got Aaron. I'm not reading last names just in case you like want some
if you want
privacy.
To read your last names, you have to tell us.
But thank you all so much.
Include your address and phone number and social security number.
Yeah, drop a credit card number in there and we'll upgrade you.
Don't actually do that, please don't.
But we have 8 amazing patrons now. Thank you so much to all 8 of you. You are incredible human beings.
We're gonna find you all and then make you into Power Rangers.
Exactly. We're gonna fucking make a power squad.
I'll be your Zordon. I'll be the big bald baby man in the fucking hologram room. What's the name of the fucking android?
I don't remember. I was gonna say Android 13, but that's like Dragon Ball Z. That's
not it. Shut the fuck up. There was Android 18 and 17. What is the fucking name of that? Z9? What the? I need to look it up.
Isn't he made out of like air conditioning tubing or something? Like that really fucking weird shit. I'm gonna switch accounts to the Prude Dudes, and I'm gonna check out the YouTube comments. But thank you so much to all of our patrons.
Robot.
We're doing great right now. We're reaching our goals. So
Alpha 5.
There you go. Alpha 5. Yes, it is Alpha 5. So if you want
Rangers, Zordon is dead. I killed him.
My
big stupid football head hit
him in the face.
So thank you. Arnold. Hey, shut the fuck up for one fucking second, idiot.
No.
Thank you to all of our amazing fucking patrons for putting your hard-earned money towards this little project of ours.
Dumb thing that we do.
If you want to contribute, and if you have any more tier ideas for us, make sure to let us know. So head on over to patreon.com/PrudeDudes if you want to support us. Just chuck in $1, throw in $1, throw those pennies at our eyes and make us bleed. Any little bit helps no matter what. You get your name read out on the show, and we will personally kiss a photo of you and send it to you.
Well, we will not do that.
We will not. But it'll happen, but like we'll have no evidence to show for it.
If UPS loses it, it's not our fault.
Yeah, it'll get lost in the mail.
All of them, it's not our fault.
Those links to our Patreon will be in the description of the YouTube and the iTunes regular podcast links, so you have no excuse not to check it out. So let's see, going through the YouTube comments here. This is from Bluesboy87. Oddly enough, I was actually about to start watching Voltron because I hear it's super awesome, but then last week I was listening to the podcast while doing the dishes. Then Alex basically spoiled the bejesus out of the show. Voltron? I was trying to
Yeah, I told you that.
Trying to
message me.
frantically
You thought I was joking about it, you spoiling it, and you were like, haha, well, it doesn't matter. It's an old show. But people still fucking watch it.
I was trying to frantically tap the 30-second skip button on the screen on my phone so I wouldn't hear what he was saying. My fingers were still too wet and soapy to register. So I heard all of it. Thanks, Alex.
Took some guy cheeks.
Can you guys do a future episode where you just spoil things for Alex? I would be so sad,
Alex?
but I probably
Alex
deserve
like
it.
a cunt.
Yeah, what a douche. Schadenfreude?
Spoil things for Alex.
Yeah.
Huh. Is there something that I've watched that you haven't? Have you ever seen Zodiac, the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, I love Zodiac.
You have?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I own it.
Fuck.
Also, like, even if you said something I haven't seen,
Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal?
I've seen Prisoners. You're gonna list every Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Hugh Jackman as the greatest showman.
Have you seen Donnie Darko with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Have you seen? Oh, what's another one? I can't think of anymore.
Have you seen Jarhead with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Fucking. Have you ever seen Brokeback Mountain?
No, I actually haven't seen Brokeback Mountain.
Well, in the end, they fuck on the mountain.
Oh shit!
I've never.
Thought
seen
they were gonna fuck on the lake. This one's from Joshua. Love the part where Alex could have eaten or had sex with a squirrel was followed up by being disappointed by the absence of a joke being made because y'all didn't even mention Vor when that was the perfect opportunity. Well, Yaman was there and we didn't want to trigger him, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's a bitch.
It's fine. I like the new art. Darker, deeper color tone is more relaxing. Thank you, David.
Whoa, fuck. Were you freaked out by the other one? It's like, oh, jeez.
Oh, stress. Who's this little man looking at me?
I can finally be relaxed.
Matthew says he likes the idea of us getting some clothes, like a black hoodie with just a PD in the corner or something. That's exactly one of the rough drafts we have.
Yeah.
We were trying to make happen.
But I suck at drawing, so it's going to take a while.
Patrick fucking blows the drawing. It says we have 16 comments, but I only see like... Actually, I think that's all of them. I think I'm just bad at counting. That's it. Thank you for your amazing, lovely comments. We don't have any new iTunes reviews. I know because I checked already. So if you have anything else you want to add, Patrick, now... Oh, wait. Did we get any fan art or something?
I don't fucking know.
In case we didn't plug it, we did not plug it last time, actually, because it came out right after the episode came out. We got a lovely little piece of art that you may have already seen on our Prude Dudes Instagram account from Tessa Newton. She's amazing. She drew us if we all lived together in our incredibly dysfunctional household. I'm wearing a lovely number 1 dad apron, which is very realistic. Patrick is strangling Yaman
and lifting him off the ground.
I don't know if that's like perspective and Yaman is just further away or if you're actually lifting him.
I'm choking him and he's 10 feet away.
Yeah. Your arms are 10 feet long.
Can you imagine?
But there's lots of great little details in here, so make sure you zoom in. In the window, there's a fucking police car. And
like if I was in this room and then I opened the door and reached through the hallway to grab you.
So thank you, Tessa, for that. Make sure you go follow her. Check out her shit. She's amazing and super talented. If you want to send us any fan art or business inquiries, or you want to sponsor us, and you are the manufacturer of a firearm
of a P90,
you can reach us at Prude.
If you construct P90s, please sponsor us so we can shoot guns instantly in the air, constantly in the air.
You can send that shit to prudedudes@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, that's @prudedudes. If you want to support us on Patreon, that's patreon.com/prudedudes. Every little buck, every little penny helps push the show towards financial stability and death. It helps put food on the table, helps us buy microphones. When we start saving up for those, it'll be great. So it's an investment in the future, investment in us. Thank you so much. I love you. Mwah! If you're a Patreon patron.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And if you want to follow us on our personal accounts, I'm at AlexPen97. Patrick is at PatrickShot5. Yaman is at @_Yaman. Tweet at him. Make sure he's here for the next episode. Otherwise, he'll just keep sleeping through it again. And we're at 120 ratings on iTunes. You guys really fucking came through with it. We were at 113 last week. We got 7 new ratings this week. All 5 stars. Thank you so much. Thank you to the fans. Thank you to the patrons. Thank you to everyone for being so fucking amazing. And we'll see you guys again next week.
What?